through the report. Jason Reed's listening to that, UK lead at Young Voices, non-profit organisation working with young writers, also a public health policy commentator. Hello, Jason.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Where do you stand on this on this subject, if you're commenting on public health? We're big, getting bigger. What's going to stop it?
I'm very concerned about the growth of the nanny state in this area. I don't like this portrayal that people who are overweight, I'm overweight myself, I don't think it's fair to portray us as people who are waiting for the benevolent hand of the state to reach down and rescue us from our plight. We all know what it takes to lose weight. We all know we'd have to eat healthier, we have to eat smaller quantities of food, we have to move more. We don't need the government to be restricting our civil liberties in order to communicate that message to us. And all the evidence shows that these kinds of policies, whether it's advertising restrictions or sin taxes, taxes on sugar and salt, they just don't work. For example, the government's junk food advertising ban, which it pushed through earlier this year, in an effort to curb childhood obesity, huge restrictions coming in on online and TV and radio advertising of what the government deems to be junk food. The government's own analysis of that policy, so not some sceptical third party, the government's own analysis predicts that it will remove 1.7 calories from kids' diets per day, which, for context, that's about the equivalent of half a Smartie. And for that, we're going to cripple the advertising industry, the food industry, the broadcast industry. It just seems wildly disproportionate.
But there's a real issue going forward. So what's the solution? So are you advocating this personal responsibility narrative and there's nothing else we can do?
I believe in personal responsibility. I don't think that's a particularly radical position. You always hear these justifications trotted out like, oh, you know, fat people cost the NHS too much money or whatever, which, first of all, the amount of money that the amount of the NHS budget that deals with obesity-related illnesses is much smaller than is often made out. But then the implication is that if you're overweight, you somehow have less of a right to use the NHS. When, of course, that really shouldn't be the case. Everyone pays into it equally, is there to be used. That's exactly what it's for. It seems wildly unfair to be alienating people because of their lifestyle or because of any other reason they might be obese, of course, whether it's an eating disorder or glandular disorders or anything like that, and to try and be separating people along those arbitrary lines. It's just not the government's place to be interfering in what I or what I don't eat.
It's good speaking with you. Thank you. Jason Reed is the UK lead at Young Voices. He's also a public health policy commentator. Where are you on this? Are you going to try in the new year to become healthier? Because I don't think this is just about obesity.